By the will of the steppe, I present to you Attila and Bleda, your new rulers.
From the endless grasslands of the Eurasian steppe, they came like a storm. Fierce horsemen, unmatched in speed and ferocity, sweeping across Europe and leaving terror in their wake. Their leader was a man the Romans would call the Scourge of God, Attila the Hun. This is the story of the warlord who brought an empire to its knees and whose shadow still haunts history. The Huns were nomads from the Central Asian steppes, ruthless, mobile warriors whose power lay not in cities or walls, but in the saddle. By the late 4th century, their sudden arrival in Eastern Europe shattered the balance of power. They crushed Gothic tribes, forcing thousands to flee into Roman lands, sparking migrations that would reshape the continent forever. To the Romans, the Huns were like monsters from another world. Short, scarred, fierce-eyed riders who could shoot arrows with deadly accuracy while galloping at full speed. Their name became a synonym for terror. Around the year 434, two brothers, Attila and Bleda, rose to power after the death of their uncle Rugila. Together, they inherited a vast empire stretching from the Black Sea all the way to the Danube. In 435, the desperate Romans signed a treaty, agreeing to pay a hefty tribute of gold in exchange for peace. But peace with the Huns never lasted. When Rome delayed its payments, Attila struck. His armies burned cities, enslaved captives, and demanded ever more gold. The price of peace was always rising. Then, in 445, Bleda died. Historians still debate the cause. Was it an accident, an illness, or, as many suspect, was he murdered by Attila himself? Whatever the truth, one man now ruled the Huns alone. With his brother gone, Attila transformed the Hunnic tribes into a brutally efficient war machine. He imposed iron discipline, gathered subject peoples under his banner, and organized his cavalry into lightning-fast strike forces that could appear as if from nowhere. In 447, he unleashed this new army on the Eastern Roman Empire, crushing every force sent against him. Cities like Philippopolis and Nisus were wiped from the map. The smoke from their ruins could be seen for miles. Even the mighty city of Constantinople trembled. Only its massive, impenetrable walls and a desperate, humiliating tribute payment saved it from destruction. The Eastern Emperor, Theodosius II, was forced to pay thousands of pounds of gold each year just to keep Attila away. But the more gold Rome sent, the hungrier the Scourge of God became. In the year 450, a scandal reached Attila's camp that would change the course of history. The Roman princess Honoria, desperate to escape an arranged marriage she despised, sent a secret message to the Hunnic king. Along with her plea for help, she included her own ring. Attila chose to interpret this as a marriage proposal. His response was audacious. He demanded half of the Western Roman Empire as her dowry. Naturally, Rome refused. Attila had his pretext for war. In 451, his colossal army, a multinational force of Huns, Ostrogoths, and countless other allied tribes, thundered into Gaul. They left a trail of destruction, burning cities and besieging Orléans. But this time, Rome was ready. A brilliant Roman general, Flavius Aetius, had forged an unlikely alliance with his former enemies, the Visigoths. On the Catalonian plains, the two massive armies finally met. The fate of Western Europe hung in the balance. The battle that followed was one of the bloodiest of the ancient world. Tens of thousands perished as cavalry slammed into shield walls, and the sky grew dark with arrows. Attila, facing fierce and unexpected resistance, was forced to retreat. For the first time, the Scourge of God had been stopped. Yet even in this strategic defeat, his legend grew. The Romans had survived, but only just barely. The very next year, Attila returned, this time invading Italy itself. His armies ravaged the north, burning cities like Aquileia so completely that survivors had to flee into the nearby marshes. According to legend, it was these refugees who founded the city that would one day become Venice. Rome itself now lay undefended. Panic swept through the capital. In a last, desperate move, Pope Leo the Fern rode out from Rome to meet Attila personally. No one knows for sure what words were spoken between the Pope and the warlord on the banks of the Mincio River. Was it a plea? A threat? A promise of more gold? Miraculously, Attila turned his army back. Christian chroniclers claimed it was divine intervention that saved the city. More pragmatic historians suggest that famine, plague breaking out in his army, and a lack of siege equipment played a larger part. Whatever the reason, Attila spared Rome, for now. In 453, Attila was preparing for another massive campaign, this time aimed back at the Eastern Empire. But it was not to be. On the night of his wedding to a young bride named Ildiko, he was found dead. The official story was that he had drunk too much wine, suffered a severe nosebleed, and choked in his sleep. But rumors of assassination have persisted for centuries. Was he poisoned by his new wife? A Roman agent? We will never know. The greatest warlord of the steppes was gone, not slain by an army, but by a quiet, mysterious death. His followers mourned him with grief and fury. They buried him in 3 nested coffins, one of iron, one of silver, and one of pure gold, and diverted a river to hide his final resting place. To ensure the grave would remain a secret forever, every person who took part in the burial was killed. To this day, the tomb of Attila the Hun has never been found. With Attila's death, the Hunnic Empire collapsed almost overnight. His sons fought amongst themselves for control, and the conquered tribes seized the opportunity to rebel and break free. Within a generation, the Huns had scattered. Their empire vanished as quickly as it had appeared. Yet Attila's legend lived on. In Roman chronicles, in Norse sagas, and in the collective memory of medieval Europe, he became the ultimate symbol of destruction. To some, he was a barbarian destroyer, the wrath of God sent to punish a decadent world. To others, he was a symbol of raw freedom, a ruler who defied the great empires of his age and lived by his own rules. More than 15 centuries later, the name Attila still carries the echo of thunder on the steppe, a powerful reminder of the man who terrified Rome, reshaped a continent, and left an indelible mark on history. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more stories from history. We'll see you in the next one.